Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? Hopefully you are always healthy and be blessed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Amin. Okay, firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Siti, a student of English Education Department on 4G class, Islamic State Institute of Tulungagung. This video was made for completing assignment in subject Inferential Listening Comprehension, which is about simple tricks to remember vocabularies well. But before that, I will disclaim that this video is not the way you can memorize vocabularies fastly, but it's about how you learn vocabularies deeply so you can memorize this well in your long-term memory. And without any further ado, let's go to the video. There is the difference between to learn vocabulary and memorize vocabulary. So, memorizing is the way you commit to memorize. Just like when you find new vocabulary, then you memorize the Indonesian. But learning vocabulary is when you find new vocabulary, then you try to get the meaning deeply so you can get the long-term memory. When you memorize something, it is possible to forget in the future. But when you learn something, that will be stay at your long-term memory because you know well what's the meaning. Then, how do I actually learn vocabulary? So guys, actually, there are a lot of ways to learn vocabulary. But in this video, I just want to tell you about the important things in learning vocabulary. We can say as 2R, relevance and repetition. So, when you want to get the meaning well of vocabulary, you can make that vocabulary relevant with your life and also has repetition. Of course, if it is relevant, it will be repeated, and that's the key to know well the meaning of vocabulary. Okay, the first R is relevance. When you want to know well the meaning of vocabulary, you have to make that relevant with your life. Let's get the example. You learn about new vocabulary that is rifle, and your hobby is football. You can try to find way to make this vocabulary relevant with your hobby, such as make a sentence. Messi is Ronaldo's biggest rival. Another example, you find a vocabulary down, which has been subuh. Then you like a fashion or cosmetics. You can make this vocabulary becomes relevant with your interest, such as make a sentence. I wake up at dawn to put my makeup on. So, by this relevance, I'm sure that you can remember these vocabularies well than you memorize the Indonesian of those vocabularies. The second R is repetition. So guys, repetition is repeating something to remember. It is like when you remember the way go to the campus, that's just because you always passed on that way every day. That's same with when you want to remember vocabulary. You have to see more often in various mediums such as videos, movies, newspapers, books, and others. Besides that, you must also keep space repetition for your vocabulary which you have remembered. Space repetition means that you must give time space between each session to see that vocabulary. Let's take an example. You find your vocabulary from movie on Friday, then you do a review on Saturday, then you do a review again on Monday, and review again on Wednesday, and so on. So, when you give the repetition space for remembering vocabulary, it will be easier to be memorized. I think this way much better than when you repeat to memorize vocabulary in every 5 minutes, then after that you don't repeat that anymore, and as a result, it may be forgotten. So guys, that's all my tips for remembering well English vocabularies. The conclusion is, the vocabularies which are relevant with our life will always be repeated, and as a result that will be memorized well in our long-term memory. So, when you want to remember well vocabulary, we can make it relevant to our life and do the repetition for that. I think that's all for me. I hope it is useful for you. I'm sorry if I made some mistakes. Have a good day and see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.